oriented programming is. You picture it as though it is like writing restricted English words to call functions and methods and other things like that. So there are English words, there are things you can interact with. When programming started, they used to interact with PC. Because you want to interact with your computer. Computer doesn't understand English. Computer doesn't understand English. It doesn't understand any language. It has its own language, its own machine language. And the machine language computer understands is 0 and 1, the bytes and bits. Those are the things computer understands. And that's been explained to you. But based on technological advances, OOP came into life. That is object-oriented programming. And we have several types of programming. We have linear programming, object-oriented programming, other things like that. Even we have quantum programming now. It is more faster than OOP. So, but we are talking about OOP because that is what Flutter and Dart. Let me say that is what Dart is. That is the concept that is being used in that programming language. So after the who can tell us types of conditional statements we have in Flutter, in Dart, sorry. Let's have it quick, please. We need to understand before I can move to my slides. Because let me tell you something. Don't run away from Dart. If you run away from that, that is not interesting as Flutter. Flutter is simple. So although you need problem solving skill to put things together, for you to solve problems with Flutter too, you need to have a good and sound problem solving skill. You need to be able to think very well. So, but that is the rudiment of Flutter. Your application, even your UIs, will not be reactive. You know, reactive is they will not do what you want it to do. They will not work as they're supposed to work. If you don't understand that programming language, that is just it. So you need to understand. You need to love it. Even it is always tiring. I will tell you something. When I started that, I am always tired. If you see me sit in 30 minutes, I'll go and sleep for 1 hour. I'll have a headache for 1 hour. But I had to. What you can do is just make sure you start from the basics. Start from the most easy. Go to the internet. Go and search the most easy that programming language video online. Start with that. Don't start with, if you hear that some people will be telling you that, some experts will be telling you that go and watch this guy. For example, if you are talking about Liverpool, they will ask you to go and watch. Liverpool is a state management. We'll talk about that later when I'm presenting. Liverpool is a state management in Flutter. So it was built by Remy Rousselt. If I'm correcting in calling his name, Remy Rousselt. It's not Remy Yoruba. Remy Rousselt. Let me say it like that. Remy Rousselt. So that is his name. So they will ask you to go and watch it because he was the one that built the state management. But the first time, trust me, the first time I started, I wanted to learn Liverpool then. So I attended a conference held by Flutter Lite or Flutter Live online on YouTube. So the middle set was presenting Flutter using Liverpool. So what he did was that he started like he was taking the advanced people. So I didn't understand anything. That's just the summary of what I'm trying to say. So don't go and watch Remy Rousselt Liverpool tutorial. If you want to start Liverpool, you start with the most easy and the most that is being broken down by, even if the person is a beginner and the person understands what he's saying, try and watch it. And another thing you need to understand is we tell you and we guide you through, we mentor you through the rudiments. We won't give you everything. That is very sure. We just give you what you need most. Then you'll be the one to expand and research more on it. So that is why you are here. You need to be proactive. When we tell you Flutter is a cross-platform application, you should a cross-platform framework. Sorry, cross-platform framework. I beg your pardon. Sorry. So you should understand cross-platform. We just give you a summary of what it means. Then you should explore more. That is how you can learn this thing. You need this. You need that. You need to understand that before we start that. So I'm asking. Let's have. Who can tell us some conditional statements in Flutter? In that. Conditional statements in that. Some people will say it's not that, it is Dart. I don't know. It's just Dart. So that is the English Yoruba. Sorry, that is the Nigerian accent of calling Dart. So it is Dart. So let's have it. I'll call names. So bold. Oh, yeah, give us one conditional statement in that. Sorry, in that.
The switch case.
Okay.
If and else statement.
That's just one. I'm asking you to give us one. Okay, who can give us another one?
Well, answer the whole question.
Yeah?
Let's answer the whole question.
You don't answer the question. So just pay attention just pay attention to detail. Let's have another one. You have another one that is not common.
Like switch.
Said what?
Said switch.
Switch, right? So these are things you need to understand. So I will not go to that. Let me move to Flutter. I think you have already been taken through the rudiments of that programming language. If you are still having any problem, you can just ask on the Slack channel or your Slack channel on Telegram. On your Slack channel. So please, and also I noticed something. Most of you are not responding well on Slack. You are still, sincerely, the grace all of us are still having is because our mentors are begging on our behalf. Sincerely, they are begging on our behalf. We're supposed to have removed everyone. We are not interested in people that will not be reacting. That is what you need. We are trying to train you how to use a remote workspace. That is why we have that Slack. Please try and take note. Very important. So that is what I will tell us today. Try and take note. Be acquainted with Slack. You need it. You need it. So let me share my screen. So my slide is available. I'll share us the slide after the class. So please try and call me to attention if you see that if you can't see my screen again, let me say it like that. Yeah. So you are talking about Flutter. So what do you understand? What does Flutter means to you? Let's say it like that. What does Flutter means to you? Please, someone should tell us what Flutter means to him or her.
Flutter is a framework. I use it.
Flutter is like a framework under that programming language. We have frameworks like Django, Flask, like that. I think that is the way Flutter is to that.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
But you can't see anything.
Nothing has been displayed.
Okay, I'm coming, please. I'm coming. But I've started sharing the screen. I don't know why it is not showing. Can you see my screen now? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Flutter. So Flutter. So what you said something the other time. I can't understand. I didn't comprehend what you are trying to say. You said is a framework in that. I don't understand that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one not getting that. So Flutter, build apps for any screen. What impression is this giving you? So that it means you are using. Okay, we understand that later. Flutter. Don't forget this. Build apps for any screen. Flutter. Build apps for any screen. So what is Flutter? Flutter is an open source mobile application development framework created by Google. It allows developers to build high performance, natively compiled application for mobile, web, and desktop from a single code base. So I hope you are trying to understand that. It's an open source mobile. What does open source mean? So what does open source? It's an open source framework. It means you can use it for anything. Anyone can just come for it and use it for anything. You want for any purpose. You can use it for any purpose. So it's an open source mobile application development framework created by Google. It was created by Google. So as that, the programming language that is being used with the Flutter framework. It allowed developers to build. Flutter was what the first release was in 2015. The first release was in 2015. So it was used in creating web apps. So it is a framework. It is an open source mobile application development framework created by Google. And it allows developers to build high performance natively compiled application for mobile, web, and desktop from a single code base. What does native this thing means? Natively compiled application for mobile. Natively compiled application. What does it mean? We have hybrid applications and native applications. Who can tell us what hybrid application means? Who can tell us that? Please unmute yourself. Anyone should unmute themselves. Who can tell me, please, let's be fast. When they say something, an application is native mobile, native app, and hybrid apps. Who can tell us that? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me? Hello? I can't hear anything. No. I'm asking the question. Someone you should give a try now. Anyone should just talk. What do you understand by native apps and hybrid apps? You have two types of apps. You have hybrid apps and native apps.
Yeah, native apps for iOS is objects. Why for Android is Java.
That is not the question I'm asking. We have in mobile, when I'm talking about mobile apps, we have two types of apps. We have hybrid apps and native apps. So that is what I'm asking. I'm not asking about Flutter. I'm not asking about what is being used for iOS and what is being used for Android. Please. Native apps, and if you are not able to tell me now, you tell me before the end of the class. So what does native apps means and hybrid apps? So that is, we are not giving you everything. You should make sure you give me the answer before the end of the class. So mobile apps, we have native apps and hybrid apps. So, but for Flutter, we build native apps. So, and it is being used from a single code base. What does it mean? It means that Flutter is making it easier for us to just write a single code base. You just write one code for a mobile app. For example, you are writing a code for Android. Normally, let's say you want to build application mobile app, an e-commerce mobile app. Normally, if you don't have frameworks like Flutter, React Native, and others, those cross-platform frameworks, if you don't have them, the normal standard is that you build the normal standard is that you build the Android platform app. The code, you write the code differently. For the Android, you write the code the code differently. For iOS, you write it differently with any programming language that supports that. For example, you can use Swift to write that of iOS, or you use Objective-C. Or you use on Android, you want to write Android, right? Is either use Java or use Kotlin. So, and also if you want to write web apps, you can use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and other things like that. So Flutter is making it easier for us to be able to build for all these platforms, for Android, iOS, web, even desktop. You want to write desktop softwares, so you can use I think .NET framework. That is what it is. I don't know if it is correct. I don't know about that. I think .NET framework. I'm not very sure. So you need to write it separately. But what Flutter is doing is it is making it easier for us. You just write only one single code. That single code, as you are writing it, Flutter framework is making it easy, and it is converting it to platforms that it supports. Flutter supports some platforms. It supports iOS, Android, desktop, web, And so these platforms, as you are writing one single code, one Flutter code, you are writing the Flutter framework, you are writing with Flutter framework. As you are writing it, it is easier. You don't need to write code for each platforms again. So it will automatically make it easy for you to convert to other platforms. So that is why it is called from a single code base. You don't need to write. That is why it is called cross-platform application, cross-platform framework. So Flutter uses the Dart programming language, which is also developed by Google. Sorry. So what are the advantages of Flutter? So fast development cycle. So it makes it easier. You don't need to write codes for each platform again. Single code base for multiple platforms. I said it the other time. That is what I was explaining the other time. Customizable widgets. So I will talk about that. High performance. Your applications will have high performance. So I will talk about some big brands that are using Flutter. I will tell us that you'll be wowed. Then you can make research more. You can make more research to know big brands that are using Flutter, so that you know Flutter is not just a framework that is just starting, or a framework that cannot be used to build production apps. There's something called production app. Production app are apps that are being used by over 20,000 people. Let me say it like that. So that is just a layman definition of production app. Not just an app that will be used by 2 people or 3 people. Like 5,000 users, 1 million users. These are production apps. So that will be used by a lot of users without bug. So that is why it is being called production app, because you need to be very careful before you release it to the audience. So customizable widget and high performance. So we have fast development cycle that we are trying to explain each one, a brief explanation. So Flutter's auto reload feature allows developers to make changes to the code and see the result instantly without having to wait for the app to recompile. This makes development faster and more efficient. This is telling us that when we are talking about Java, so if you want to use Java, you can only build applications, Android applications with Java. Or you can use it to build web applications too. So you can use Java to build Android applications. You can use it to build backend server too. So, but if you want to use it to build mobile application, so whenever you make any, for example, let's say I'm trying to design a dashboard whereby when people log in, when you log in, so you enter your dashboard. Hi, Ibrahim, you are welcome. So what do you want to buy today? What do you want to sell today? So and I'm building the app. I've been able to build the app bar. I've been able to build the bottom navigation bar. So I want to add a card in the middle. So while I'm programming, while I'm building the application, I'm building the dashboard, I want to add. So and I have added the code for the card, and I want to see if it is displaying correctly. I want to see if it is displaying correctly. So if I want to do that when I'm using Java, I will have to start. Let's say you have run the app before, because you have to run to check. So let's say you have run the app before, then you need to before you run when you are running an application, it always takes time. When you want to first run it to check to see the results, to see it in an emulator. So it will take long before it runs. So after you have added changes on your application. So if you are using other platforms and that is not a cross-platform framework, so if you are using it, then you need to start to rerun from the beginning again. Instead of you to reload, you will rerun. You will restart. Let's call it restart. Restarting is you starting the run again from the beginning. But Flutter is giving us a functionality whereby if you add any functionality to your page, let's say, or to your screen, let's call it screen. So you are designing a dashboard screen now. So you add a functionality of card. You have coded and you want to see the results. So you don't need to restart the run. You just have to reload. When you reload it, it doesn't take time. It just reload in milliseconds. It reloads and bring out the new changes you have added. So that is why it makes development easier. And it makes it faster. That is why the development cycle is always faster, because you don't need to start to restart, except in small cases. Let me say in little cases. Also, we have single code base for multiple platforms. Flutter allows developers to build apps for multiple platforms, including iOS, Android. I've said it before. Customizable widgets. Flutter provides a wide range of customizable widgets and an easy-to-use UI toolkit. Don't forget this. That allows developers to create unique and engaging designs. So Flutter allows us to use widgets. The first thing you should note and should be your quote whenever you are talking of Flutter is everything in Flutter is a widget. What do I say? Please, someone should type what I've said in the group. Everything in Flutter is a what? Is a widget. Everything in Flutter is a widget. For every component in Flutter, it must be a widget. You are not getting me. For every component in Flutter, if you see an application now, if you go to your mobile app, on your phone, just try and go to a mobile app on your phone, and you go to any screen, you should note, you go to any screen of the app. Let's say we go to WhatsApp now. Do I go to WhatsApp now? So the first screen it brings is chat, updates, calls, and WhatsApp business, and the list of chat. For every design you are seeing here, the color, the bottom navigation bar, the app bar, the search panel, the charts, the statuses, everything, if it is being built with Flutter, it is a widget. So it makes it easy for us that you can use this. Flutter is having some widgets that have defaults that can be customized to what you want. You can customize them. They are not widgets that you cannot edit. You can customize your own. For example, Flutter is having bottom navigation bar. So what is being called bottom navigation bar? They are the menu bar. If you go to any application and in the at the bottom you will see some menu bar like home, settings. Let me check an application. Home. Let me go to if you have PalmPay app, you can go to PalmPay. You understand what I'm trying to say about bottom navigation bar. So bottom navigation bar, we have in PalmPay, we have home, loan, invest, giveaway, me. So that is the bottom navigation bar. There is a default one in Flutter. So, but you can try and customize it. You can customize to your taste. For any widget, you can customize to your taste in Flutter. So these are the things that make it easy for us to use Flutter anyhow. So that means it is not restricting us like Java, like Objective-C and others. So that is why Flutter is these are the advantages of Flutter. Yeah, high performance. Additionally, Flutter apps are compiled to native machine code, which makes them fast and efficient. So Flutter versus Dart. So someone is saying Dart, Flutter. What is the difference between Flutter and Dart? What is the relationship between them? Flutter. So what is the purpose of Flutter and Dart? Flutter is a framework for building mobile applications. Is a framework. Why Dart is a general purpose programming language. So programming language is different from framework. Programming language are used in logic. For example, let me say in a layman this thing. Flutter is basically used to build the UI parts of an application. The UI, like user interface, the color, the position, the color, the aesthetic, that is the color. So the shapes that are used in the app, the icons, the images that are used in the backgrounds. So what are other things that I can mention? So Flutter is a framework for building all that. So Flutter is a framework that makes it easy for us to build that. So, but that makes it easy for us to perform logic with the UI. Flutter is having some widget. Don't forget widget. Everything in Flutter is a widget. So these widgets makes it easy for us to customize, to create a very good UI. Let me say that, a very beautiful UI for our applications based on maybe we have a design that has been designed by the product designers. The product designer will design to make work easier for us. The UI UX, maybe they have a design they have already designed. Then we want to replicate it to code. So that is what we use Flutter for the UI, how it looks. So, but that will make the look. There are some things some logic you will not be able to perform with Flutter framework alone. That will make it easy for you to perform them. For example, let me say it like this. For example, let's say you have some information. You want to fetch some information from the back end, for example. So there's something called back end. Back end is from the server. For example, you are building a wallet app. So as you are building a wallet app, you want to fetch whenever user logs in to the application, to their dashboard, to the dashboard screen. So you want it to load the amount, their exact amount that they are having. So let's say they have 1,000. You know, as they have open an account, they downloaded your application. They fund their wallet. Sorry, after funding their wallets, so they log out of the application or they perform transaction. They made 10,000 naira. They funded 10,000 naira on their wallets and they made a transaction of 5,000 naira. Remaining 5,000 naira. Everything will be recorded in the server. It will be recorded at the back end. So you want that remaining what? The remaining balance, the exact balance that they are having to reflect on your UI whenever they log into their dashboard, to their wallet, to their dashboard. So what you use, Flutter framework will only give you the design, how the UI will look. But to populate the UI, to load the exact amount from back end, then you use the logic from that programming language. So that is just the difference between the two. I don't know if you understand that. I hope that is hello? Is that explanatory?
Yes, sir.
So that is the purpose.
Yes.
Okay. Any question? Okay. So syntax. So you have talked about the purpose of the two. Flutter is used for UI. That is used for the logic part of the UI. Don't forget the logic part of the UI. So Flutter uses a reactive style programming model called widget. Now I said it the other time that there's something called reactive programming. That your UI will not be reactive. Your UI will not be reactive. I said it the other time. If you don't use that programming language, I said it. So that's why I said the logic part of your application, of your UI, is being handled by that. So Flutter uses a reactive style programming model called widget. So that what makes it easier for us to change colors, to change shapes, to change to put bottom navigation bar, to arrange things in row, to arrange things in column, to list view of text, list text. That makes it easier for us to have pop-ups. So it is Flutter. It uses reactive style programming language called widget. Why that has a syntax similar to other object-oriented languages. So Flutter is always interesting, but that is always dry. That is just the bitter truth. Because object-oriented programming language, as simple as it is, it is always dry. But if you are designing things with Flutter, it is easier for you to see what you are designing. You will see it as you'll be seeing the effects. But in that, you will see the effects, but you will not see it. You will see the effects in the UI, but you cannot see it. You cannot see the how the logic is being performed. As you are designing your this thing, as you are designing your UI, you'll be seeing the effect of the widget you are adding or you are removing. You'll be seeing the effect, the margin you are adding, the height you have added, the width, and other things like that. So, but in that, it uses the concept of object or the OOP, as rightly explained to us. Architecture. So Flutter uses a widget-based architecture. We are having Flutter versus Dart. Don't forget. Flutter uses a widget-based architecture where everything is a widget. Don't forget. I said it the other time. Flutter uses a widget-based architecture. So where everything. This is what it does. Try and picture Flutter as a tree. So that has branches and children. So Flutter is a tree. So when you're using Flutter framework, you have a mother, or let me say a parent widget that houses all other widgets. So when we are designing an application, so the first thing you have most times in most apps is the safe area. So the safe area for your body, you have safe area for all your application. That will be the parent widget for everything that you are having. Safe area. So we understand when we have the practical. So that is the safe area. The same area will be the parent widget. Then we have the scaffold. So the scaffold will be the child. So we used to have parent widget. Then we have child for the parent. We have the parent widget for everything. That means everything you will be designing, everything for that screen. For any screen in Flutter, you are designing a dashboard screen, a login screen, you have the parent widget. Then everything you will be writing, every UI you will be building, user interface, every view you will be building will be enclosed in that parent widget. You should note that. So that is why it is called parent widget. So in the scaffold used to return a white background something. That is just the basics. Let me say it's just the default page for Flutter. So, but in Flutter 3.7 something, if I'm right, 3.73 or something, if I'm right. So they replaced scaffold with placeholder. So it is placeholder widgets now. There's placeholder widgets now. So, but on in log, what you should know is that scaffold is a default background widget for every screen. So if you use scaffold, let's say you have used the same area, use scaffold. If you run your app, you will see a white screen in your application. We have that after I presented this. I'll try and show you that. So we have that architecture that is designed to support a variety of programming paradigm, including object-oriented and functional programming, as rightly said. So we have platform. Flutter is cross-platform, meaning that it can run on both Android and iOS. So your application that is being built with Flutter framework, so it can run on with a single code base. It can run on both Android and iOS. That can be used for a variety of applications, including web development and server-side development. Yes, that is a program. Don't forget, it's a programming language. So it is just like Java. So it can be used. So instead of if you are developing a mobile app, or you are developing a mobile app with Java, then you use Java to build the UI and the logic. But in Flutter, it is different. Flutter framework is being used to build the UI. Why that is the programming language that is being used in handling the logic. So I think you can relate that now. If you are using Objective-C or Swift, then you have to build the UI with Swift and the logic with Swift. But Flutter is having different things. So as we talk about React Native too, because React Native is the counterpart of Flutter. So it is also it's having similar features with Flutter. So it is having its own UI. You have to use React Native for the UI and JavaScript for the server side, for the logic side. Sorry, not server side, for the logic of the UI. So tools, you understand this when you have the practical, but please try and note the rudiments. You need to understand it before you just move to practical. You will be relating it when you are having the practical. So Flutter comes with its own set of development tools, including a widget, library, and auto reload feature. Flutter is a framework that has many features. So we are talking about widgets. So people might be wondering that how do I know the widget? So it is easier. So the thing is, Flutter comes with its own widgets, and you can customize them. It means that Flutter has its own widget that has been built with the software development kit. That is why it is being called software development kit. It comes with different widgets. If you want to list some things in a row, let's say some pictures in row, there is a widget for that. It is called row widget. It is easy. Column, you want to list some things in column. Maybe you want to list text, image, and something in a widget. Then there is a what? There is a widget for that. That is called column. So you want your screen to be scrollable to the top, like you are scrolling from the bottom to the top. There is a widget for that, single child scroll view. We have different widget and it is being built, and it comes with Flutter. Flutter is their default widget. Let me call it like that. They are default widget in Flutter. So they come with. You don't need to rack your brain. You don't need to create your own default widget. You can only customize those widgets to your own taste. But these widgets are what? They are preset by Flutter themselves. But you can customize to your own taste. So, but that can be used with a variety of tools like the Dart SDK and third-party libraries. You understand that later. So I think we are done with that. We have talked about Flutter and that. Any question before we move to the next one? Any question or reaction? Any question or reaction? Please let us talk. I should continue. I can't hear anything. Please. Hello.
Continue, sir.
Continue.
Flutter versus React Native. So I know I said they are counterparts. Programming language. So Flutter, React Native. Flutter uses, don't forget, the logic part uses that. It's an object-oriented language developed by what? By Google. So React Native uses JavaScript, which is a widely used language for web development. JavaScript also is an object-oriented language based. You should know that. So that is the difference. So user interface. Flutter provides a native user interface, which means that the widgets and controls used in app look and feel like they belong to the platform. The React Native uses platform-specific components, which can make the UI look slightly different across different platforms. So what does this mean? What they are trying to say is that Flutter, part of the advantage that Flutter is having is when you build with Flutter, and you can use it with a single code base. You can build an iOS app and Android. When you write your code with Flutter and you run it and you compile it to APK, you build it to APK. Because you build the APK. Let's use the professional term. You build APK. When you build the APK, when you build one for Android, when you run it on Android, you will think it is being built with Java because it will look exactly, because we are talking about Android and iOS. The interfaces are different. If you are using iOS, you know how your WhatsApp looks. But if you use WhatsApp on Android, it is different. Because Android are having their own user interface that they have developed for their software, for their operating system. Every operating system are having their own look. How application looks on Android are different from how application looks on iOS. That's what we are trying to explain. So for Flutter, if you build with Flutter, if you build the Android application, the APK, and you run it on Android, it will look exactly like the Android user interface. It will adapt to the Android look. And when you build the iOS too, the APA. So the APA is being used in not APK. APA is used in iOS, APA format and other formats too. So APA is the most common. So APA format on iOS, if you now run it on the iOS app, it will adapt. That application that you build with Flutter will adapt the user interface of iOS. So you won't know that it is, even it is being built with Flutter. And an example of a big company that is using Flutter for their application is eBay. eBay that is very common, that you can buy for an e-commerce website that is in US. So they are using Flutter for their mobile application, even for their web. If I'm very correct now, I think I made research on that too. So eBay. Also, Google Docs is being built with Flutter. Google Docs, that is very common, is being built with Flutter. Yeah. So React Native uses Flutter. So this is the difference. It is slightly different. So it won't adapt. It won't adapt like Flutter. This thing. So performance. Flutter provides excellent performance due to its fast rendering engine and the fact that the UI components are compiled into native code. So due to its fast rendering engine, it is very fast. The engine that is being built with it, it is a software development kit. So those that wrote Flutter, that program Flutter, the Google, so they used a fast rendering engine. So React Native uses JavaScript bridge to communicate with native, which can cause some performance overhead. So also, development environments. Flutter provides a more streamlined development environment compared to React Native. Features like hot reload, easy to use widget that can speed up the development process are not present in React Native, but it is present in Flutter. I said it the other time, hot reload. The concept of hot reload is, who can tell me the concept of hot reload? We have hot restart and hot reload. Hot restart is like you are starting the run from the beginning again. You are trying to restart from the beginning. But hot reload in Flutter is it will just reload the new changes that you have added to the screen. The only changes. It will not start from the beginning again. So it makes it faster for you to check what? To check changes being made on applications. So, but in React Native, it is not present. So it makes it not easier. It makes it look like it is like the native languages, like Java, like Objective-C. So it should make it not fast to reload your applications with, which you are built with React Native. Community and ecosystem. Flutter, as it was launched on a later time period, as compared to React Native, has been in existence before Flutter. It lacks a lot of library functions. So React has a larger and more mature community and ecosystem compared to Flutter. Large number of libraries, tools, and plugins available for developers. So Flutter is being built in 2015, the first release, 2015 by Google. So part of the disadvantages of Flutter that is having compared to React Native is that it is not having a lot of library functions, because there's something called native functions in Flutter. For example, if you are building an application and you require your users to, maybe they take pictures from their camera. You want to use their camera function. You want to use their camera function. You want to display alert dialog. So that's an example. Or you want to use their camera. You want to use something on their phone, an hardware feature. So you cannot get the library on Flutter. So there's something called library on Flutter. So we have packages and plugins there on the library. The library for Flutter, the official library of Flutter is pub.dev. pub.dev. That is the link. You can get any Flutter library that you are looking for any function you are needing. So, but if you want to build some advanced camera features, you want to use camera on Flutter. So it does not come with the SDK. So you don't have a widget for using camera. You want the users to use their camera to snap something from your application. Flutter doesn't have a preset widget for that. You have to build it natively. So that's that. But in React Native, it has that hardware, library, and features and plugins available. And I think it has its own library too. I don't know the library because I've never used React Native before. So conclusion. Flutter provides a more modern and streamlined development experience with better performance than a native-like UI, while React Native has a larger community and ecosystem with more mature libraries and plugins available. So that is why some people still stick. They prefer React Native to Flutter because they don't want to stress themselves or based on preferences. So I hope you understand why we are using Flutter now. What are the advantages of that? That is designed to be a productive language for developers. It has a clean and simple syntax that is easy to learn. I said that is not. If you are using React, you have to learn JavaScript by force. So JavaScript. I can remember when I started learning JavaScript. One of my bosses are here, so you understand what I'm trying to say. It was during my IT time, my CS time. I had it somewhere in Ibadan. So it was tasking. It was hard. I think the brother and I were having the same problem there. To understand JavaScript we watched several videos, but we don't understand. So JavaScript let me say, is not easy to learn as that. That is easy. So the performance, that is a compiled language, which means that it can be compiled to native code for faster performance. It also includes a just-in-time compiler. Please, this is my first assignment today. GIT. What is the concept of GIT? And its scenario use in Flutter. The concept of GIT and is JIT, and is scenario use in Flutter. So we have scalability. That is designed to be scalable, which makes it suitable for large-scale projects. So don't be afraid. So you can use it to build production projects. Interoperability, that can interoperate with other programming language, which means that it can be used in conjunction with other technologies. For example, that can be used with JavaScript to build web applications. So that can be used with JavaScript to build web applications. So if you are building web applications, you can use that too with JavaScript. So Flutter widgets, we are moving to widgets now. So that is where we are moving to. Very important part in. I already understand. I already explained the rudiments towards the other time. In Flutter, a widget is a description of parts of a user interface. It is a building block for creating the visual element of an app. I said it last time, such as button, text, images, and layouts. User interface. What does it mean? A user interface UI is the way that you interact with something on a computer or other digital device, like a phone or tablet. It includes all the buttons, menus, etc. We already explained that. Flutter widgets, container. So we want to start with different Flutter widgets that are common, the most common ones, and the most used ones. Let me say it like that. Most used ones that you cannot do without. You can't do without them. So we are starting with container. This very container, if it is human, I think it will have died since, because you have to use it. Container, a widget that provides a rectangular visual element for displaying other widgets. So this is an example here. This is an example of a widget, of a container here. Container is housing other widgets. So it is a parent for other widgets. So as you are seeing it, most times container always be, you should not understand that we are talking about widgets. You might have the central parents, and also have parents inside the central parent. So like example, if I have the central parent as safe area widget to be the central parent widget, I can have scaffold as a child of the parent widget, and that scaffold too can be parent. Like it is like human being. We are talking about our lineage. We have grandparents, we have parents, grandparents, great grandparents, great grandparents. That's just like Flutter widget. So we have the central, like the great grandparents. Then we have the child of that great grandparent too. That is the parent. So container too, most times it can be the central or the main tree, the main parent, and also it houses. Container always has childrens. That is just, let me say it like that. It has childrens. That's children's. So it's a widget that provides a rectangular visual element for displaying other widgets. So there are some widgets. Let me explain to us. So something in Flutter is there are some widgets you will not be able to use except you call their parent widget. What does this mean? It means that, let me say it like this. If you want to be able to use some widgets, for example, let me talk about I want to give an example. Boss, MHK, can you give me an example, please? I've forgotten. An example of that widget. There are many in Flutter. There are many, but I've forgotten now. Are you there?
I'm trying to refer to. You mean column and rows?
That's an example. I'm saying there are some widgets you will not be able to use them except you first call their parent widget. So you first call their parent widget.
Okay.
That's what I'm explaining.
Most of the times you have just like a animation container. You can't use animation container unless you extend it with mixer. So and the mixer is the parent.
You get that? So I'll talk about extension.
That mixer will have an error.
Thanks so much. So I will try and explain that very well later about mixing. I will explain it. So when I'm talking about something that a widget extend a widget, let me say a widget extend a class. Sorry, a widget can extend a class. We explain that. What does it mean for a widget to extend a class? What does it mean? So we need to, you see, we are having the practical aspect, but we need to have that's why we call it overview of Flutter today. You need to understand these things. When we get to practical aspect, you'll not be looking like the head of goat that is sleeping. So there are some widgets in Flutter that you cannot use, you cannot call them, you'll not be able to use them. Even if you call them, it will not come. It will be returning error, except you call their parent widget. That is how Flutter has done it. That this is the parent widget for this widget. For example, if you are using row, let me say it like that. If you are using row and you want to use some widgets inside the row, That's not an example. I will come back to it. I will remember for the. So that's container. Just know that there are some widgets you'll not be able to use except you call the parent widget. Container is a widget that's provided. This is how this is what it takes. This is how it looks. So I think, okay, this is container widget. I think container, before you can use row and column, let me say it like that. You cannot call row outside container widget. Am I right? I don't know if it is correct. Is it correct? Please try and take me. Try and verify that, please. Container widget, can we use it without calling? Can we use row and column widget without calling the container? So please let's confirm that. I am talking to MHK. So container, that is container widget. We have text widget. If you want to write text on your screen, you want to use text on your screen. Yeah? Said what? Said what?
Yeah, I use column and row widget without using container.
Yeah?
I said yes, we can use column and row widget without calling container.
Okay. That means what I said was not correct. That it was not correct. So I will try and show us some things. I forgot it.
Yeah.
So Flutter widgets.
Okay.
So we have another one, text widgets. Text widget. These are other widgets. Text widget. So we have talked about container. So a widget that displays a string of text on the screen. It shows text. So it returns text. You want to write text. So that means you should try and be relating it to your application. Go and open an application on your phone now as you are talking and be checking that, okay, that means they use text widget here. That means this is container. Okay, so you should be doing that. You should be relating it with what you are saying. So that is the text widget. Also, if you are building an application with Flutter, if you want to write text, you use text widget. Also, we have image widgets. A widget that displays an image on the screen. So we have different types of image widget. Maybe network image, asset image, or others. So we have widgets that are used for displaying images. Also, so image widgets, you can see it. So image widgets is used to display this image. We have list view, a widget that displays a scrollable list of widgets. You can see that list view displays scrollable list of widgets. Widgets that can be scrolled. For example, we have text, rectangle, shapes, and icons. And we want to list down. We want to list something. You can use list view widget. So we have list view. You can see it. A widget that displays a scrollable list of widgets. So we have app bar. App bar. This is app bar. App bar. App bar, a widget that provides a top app bar with navigation buttons and the title. So it is common in our applications. If you check your applications, so if you go to application, you will see what I'm trying to say. Try and go to any application. Let me go to Pampe. If it is there. Okay, it is there. You will see the app bar at the top. Sometimes it is always sometimes it is transparent. So sometimes the meaning of transparent is it will be the same. It should be having the same background color as the application's scaffold. So you will not be able to distinguish the difference between the two. So that is why most times you used to have your name, you are welcome. Welcome is you used to have the notification, you have the image and other things like that can be put there. So that is an app bar. It's at the top. So sometimes and most times it used to have an arrow that you can use to have back navigation. You want to navigate back to a page. So scaffold, a widget that provides a basic app structure, including a top-up app bar and a body area. So that means scaffold if you want for every application you want to write. So you have scaffold. You have the scaffold. So as the basics, we are talking based on basics now. Sometimes you don't use scaffold, but the fundamental thing or the default thing is scaffold. So it is scaffold that will be the central parent. So, I talked about safe area the other time. So we'll talk about that later. Say what is the function of safe area. So scaffold that provides a basic app structure. So that means app bar also will be a child under what? Under scaffold. Every other widget will be child. There will be children under what? Under scaffold. So floating action bar. This is a widget that provides a floating action button for triggering, I'll show it now, a primary action in the app. You can see it. Here's an example. Let's say you want to play, you want to trigger play. You click on it, it should play. Or if you want to add something. So if you install Flutter, the default screen that will show to you if you run your app, you will see a floating action button there. So you can use different icons. It might be add icon. You can use different icon there on the floating application of floating action bar. A widget that provides a floating action button for triggering a primary action in the app. So we are done with that. Flutter animation. I don't think we need to go to animation now, or we should just talk about them. So we have animation. We want to make animation. We want to use animation in Flutter. Animation. So what does animation mean? Who can tell me that? What animation means? Who can tell me what animation means? I think let's leave animation, please. Let's leave animation. Let's move to style properties. So styling in Flutter. Don't forget, you see, if you are very observant, you understand that everything we have been explaining about Flutter since is UI based, most time, user interface. How does the app looks? That is what we have been explaining since. So that means it is using the concepts of design. You need to understand. Go and read. That is an assignment. The second assignment today. Go and study and master. Go and study and master the concepts and the element. Let me say the element and principle of designs. The second assignment, and it should be submitted before 12 a.m. tonight. Both assignments I have given today should be submitted before 12 a.m. tonight on your Slack channel. What does it mean on your Slack channel? What I'm saying is on Slack. Sorry, on Slack, and you should note that if someone your explanation should be different from each other. So you should, if you try using ChatGPT, I will know. If you try replacing with ChatGPT, I will know. Don't deceive yourself. Go and make your research. I will create a thread on Slack, on your Slack channel. So everyone should submit their assignment there. Both of them I've given now. The elements, I ask you to read about JIT and its scenario used in Flutter. The second one, make research, and when you make research, then you write in a single paragraph. You explain what you understand in scenario with Flutter for that assignment. The second assignment is go and master the elements and the principles of design. Then when you master it, then you explain in your word what in relation to Flutter. So in relation to, let's say in relation to mobile app development, you explain in relation to mobile app development. So style property, how do you style? You have talked about some basic, I talked about some widgets the other time. So we are still continuing with widgets. We have different type of widgets. Some widgets are used for styling. Some widgets are used to create views. So like these are widgets that are used in what? In creating styles. We have color, padding, margin, border, background image, box shadow, opacity, gradient. So you understand each better. I don't want to dive in now because time is already fast spent. So we have color widgets. Sorry. So you have color widgets in Flutter. So you have padding. So you have padding. What is padding? Margin. What is the difference between margin and padding? You understand when you read elements and principles of design. So you should type it yourself, please. Type it. I already said it. Someone should type it out. Border. What are the differences? Background image. You want to give background image to your app, to a screen. Box shadow, opacity, gradient. So these are the properties. So tools and libraries. Flutter is what are the tools and libraries needed to set up Flutter framework? We have the Flutter SDK. Flutter SDK is a collection of software development tools and library that helps developers build test Flutter apps, Flutter plugins. So Flutter plugins are pre-built packages that provide additional functionality to your Flutter app, such as integration with Google Maps, Firebase, or other third-party services. You see, this Flutter plugin, you understand better later, but you should know that there's something called Flutter plugins. Flutter widget, you have explained this before. Flutter widget are the building blocks of Flutter app user interface. They used to create custom UIs, components, or to customize existing ones. That language, we have said, I talked about it. That is the programming language used to write Flutter apps. It is fast and easy to learn language that is specifically designed for building mobile and web apps. Flutter animation library. Flutter has a variety of animation libraries that can be used to create engaging animation and transition in your application. So front and back end connection, yeah. In Flutter, I talked about back end the other time. The connection between the front end and the back end is usually established using APIs. You should note that as a Flutter developer, you will be referred to as a front end developer. You are equivalent to a front end developer. You're also a software developer. So a software developer is a general name for everyone. But if you want to be specific, you just say I'm a Flutter developer, Flutter. There's nothing, you are correct. So you can say front-end developer because you are a mobile front-end developer. Your own is just mobile-based. And Flutter is making it easier for us to even be a web developer because you can build web applications with Flutter too. Like websites. That is the meaning of web application. You can use it to build websites. So that you need to understand that too. So in Flutter, the front end is your UI that you build with Flutter, and the logic part for the UI is that. So you want to fetch some things from the back end, you use that to fetch that. So, and we have some things called state management too. So in Flutter, the connection between the front end and the back end is usually established using application programming interfaces. So we dive into this better when we get to the stage. So we'll be having a course or a topic on this that will be elaborate on this. They will explain about the basic explanation of APIs is okay. An API is a set of protocol and standard that specify how software components should interact with each other. I'll give us an example. I'm coming. So an API, the basic explanation is, for example, let me give an example. You want to build a fintech app. A fintech app like you are building a bank app. A bank application for NSS Express. Let's say we are starting a bank. We have a physical bank already, but we want to have application. We want our users to transact on application. And let me use the bank app. It's too far. Let me use an application, an investment app. For example, people can come to application, register, and invest on tangible assets. Like say you can invest on motorcycle. Like if you invest, we buy a motorcycle and give to riders. And they will be paying small. Then let's say we buy it 500,000, we sell it to them 900,000. Then from that money, people that invest will get their own profits after a year. So we want to use our application for that. So how do we receive payment on our application? So if you are building an application, after you have built your application, you have built the UI and everything. You want to receive payment. You want your users to fund their wallets. So to fund their wallets, you already have a wallet feature. So you don't need for you to make work easier. Everything is easier now. You don't need to build normally. If you want to do that normally, if there are no APIs, if there's nothing called API, if you want to do that normally, you want to receive payment from users, you have to build your own payment gateway. Like you want to receive payment, you want people to fund their transaction, you need to build a payment gateway for that application, for that wallet. You go and build your own from scratch, which will require the back end, the back end people. It will require the back end people to build their own payment gateway for you, and UI too. You also build some UI too. So it will take a lot of time. So for you to use, so we now have some people that are some standard and some registered and verified payment gateway that have been built. For example, Paystack. For example, Flutterwave. Another example, we have different ones. We have PayPal, we have QuickTeller, we have InterSwitch. There are many. So if you want to integrate payment gateway in the application, you want people to fund their wallet, you can just use any available payment gateway. You use API, you use their API, you integrate it in your application, then you'll be able to use their services. So API is basically basically integrated to be able to use services from a third-party application. That is the meaning. You want to be able to use map features in Google. You want to create a location app where people can calculate the location of where they are and where they are going. They will be able to calculate that this is the distance and this is the time you get there from here if you walk, like the Google map. You want to use the function of map on your application. So normally if there is no API, you have to build your own app, your own map features. But you don't need to build that. There's Google Map already. Google Map is widely known. And if you are building your own map, you need to include all locations. And you should know that Google Map is open source. Anyone can just go there and log their location and address there. So it is widely accepted and it is famous. So it is easier for you to use their function. You'll be able to integrate every function of the Google Map on your application if you integrate the Google Map API. So you don't need to build your own map. And that would be cumbersome and it's having many disadvantages than using the API, than integrating the API of Google Maps. I hope that is explanatory enough, because people used to have problem with what API is. I hope you get that. Yeah. So it is not only on mobile application that we use API. They use API in web apps too. So that is the basic concept of API. I know you understand that now. That is that if you go to applications, there are some applications, for example, if you are using Jumia, so you will see that if you want to check map, you want to track your order, you will see the map and it's right there, copyright Google Map. It's right there, copyright Google Map. It means that they integrated the Google Map API. So for example, logistics, I want to be able to handle deliveries on my app. You can integrate the GIG logistics API. So that is just it. So they already have their own logistic gateway on the internet. You just use their API to be able to use the function or the functionality that is on their app part. So that is API. So examples. So this is text. This is a text widget. So this is an animation widget. This is image widget. So you can see this application. So you can see this. You can see this image. This we are talking about scaffold. So this is scaffold. Without this logo, this BOA logo, this logo, if you remove it, this plain screen that it is always white. It is default white. So if you use scaffold, that is what you will see on your screen. Without scaffold, you won't see anything. You won't see anything. It will be blank. So this is an application. So you can see from everything I've explained, the secret I'll give you a principle today. You should note that for any UI design, for any application, the UI design, the user interface design, it is always based on 4 basic concepts. The first one, images, texts, shapes, colors. These are the 4 basic concepts. Images, text, color, shapes. You can see. Even the button is a shape. It is just that it has been known as button. So shape, you can see what is the concept of this screen, this particular screen. We have different screens here. This is splash screen. So this is a screen. So this is a screen. This is another screen. So we have 4 screens here. So on this screen, you can see what is for any UI screens, the component that you will see there is either you see all or you see part of them. For this screen, we have image, you have text, we have shape and text on each other. That is button. It's called button, and that is button. We have what? We have color. You can see color. We have text. So these are for any application. Even it's not only a mobile application. For any design, it is called whether graphic design, template design. Maybe you are designing a flyer or you are designing a website, the UI of the website, or app mobile app. You need to know that the component cannot be more than images, text, shapes, and colors. So So under text, under each of the web, you understand when you read elements and principles of design. You understand what I'm saying? So we also have, you can see different screens. If you check it, you can see that everything, the concept I've explained, those are the things that are there. So Flutter Flow. Don't need to go to Flutter Flow. So if you want to learn Flutter for free, Flutter Flow, you don't need it for now. So learn Flutter. Go to YouTube, the Next Ninja, WS Script Tech, Free Code Camp, Flutter. So Flutter is having an official website for you to learn Flutter. Just go to flutter.dev. Flutter.dev. You see tutorials. Even there is a code lab there. The mission of code lab is they will be explaining to you, and you'll be asking you to be implement what they are explaining to you step by step till they finish for every exercise and for every project. So that is if you go to flutter.dev, you see the code lab there. Free Code Camp also. You have paid courses too on Udemy. So I won't advise you to do that now. So thanks so much. We are done with today's presentation. So we are done with today's presentation. I think we have been able to touch everything about the basics of Flutter. So when we finish, we are done with that. So after this, then the next thing we need to do is we have the practical aspect. So where we will be having a live coding section, whereby I will be showing us everything I have been explaining. And more than that. So if you have any question, please let us have the questions. And if you have anything or any contribution, maybe you haven't talked about this thing, I need a clarification on that. So I will be glad to help and explain. So thanks so much for listening and following the class.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Said Adilan.
Okay.
I actually appreciate you for today's class. It is very intense, and um, I I have been learning Flutter for quite a while now, and all what you've been saying has just given me another insight into what I have learned, and then I gain a lot. But during the course of this, you didn't talk about Cupertino part, and I know that it is iOS based, and I want to know more about that. But I know when we get there, we are going to do more about that. And then the second aspect is I love the fact that there are a lot of warnings, a lot of stringent rules, and then a lot of shaking up here and there. But if we can, please, it is just a plate. If we can have a schedule. I am a family man. I have a work, and then I need to go to work and then make ends meet. So, and for me to, I literally stop what I am doing for a week that I've been on this platform, just because I know this is the future that I am looking to, and I cannot even jeopardize it with anything, even if it takes me to stop what I am doing right now. So please, I want to ask or beg the organizer if they can just tell us the time that everything is going to be, because I have missed like a class or two because of this reason. I don't know. Yesterday I waited, and day before yesterday the same thing, and then I was missing a lot as it's going. And as I am now, I want to, please, can I have access to someone that is a leader in this platform so that I can express myself and tell the person the level at which I am, and then what I am also doing now. Because as you said, this Flutter is being used by different company. I know of BT, British Telecommunication. They use Flutter for all their apps, EE apps and different apps. And they are even going as far as coming to Nigeria to take programmers for Flutter. So please, I want, because the level at which I am now, I cannot call myself a beginner. So I would like if I can have someone that I can report to directly. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Saeed.
Okay.
Thank you, Said. I think I won't say I'm the general leader, but I'm the one taking care of the mobile team on this class. In fact, I'm the one that assigns the rules and the lectures to our team of instructors. So you are free to contact me anytime, any day. So on issue of time, like I have with my boss over there, we have been considering whether I should move the time to 5 o'clock every day. 5 o'clock every day. Because although I don't know the schedule of our brothers, that like now I can hear alarm somewhere, I think 6:30. Because some of us that are totally beginners or novice, they have a lot to cover. They have practical to do. Because me personally, I believe that for us to start learning, the things stick to us by practicing. So I don't know if 5:30 or 5 o'clock is ideal for us to start our class, or should we do it 1 to 3 or 3:30? So we are open for suggestions or the time that would be cool for all of us to be able to attend. Because I've noticed that these are the set of people that have been always present every day. Lukman, Agnes Daywood, Bold, and you. Mohammed used to be, but maybe he's quite engaged because I don't normally see him online again on Telegram. Although I will try and call him through my coordinator, see if we can reach out to him in any possible platform. So me personally, I'm proposing 5 or 1:30 in the daytime. And if, let's say like today, if it's possible for us to have like 2 lectures, one in the morning, one in the evening, so we can be able to cover up. Like some of beginners here, I'm very quite sure that they don't know how to use they don't know what we call function when it comes to, in fact, some of them this is the first programming language they're facing, meaning that they don't know what is function. And some of them don't even know how to create class or type of classes, and understanding what I mean by OOP, object-oriented programming, and others. Like the last class I was guiding them on is creating function, defining normal function with the data type, and defining function with the parameter. But although the class was cut short due to attendance was very poor, so I'll be expecting you guys to agree with me on any particular time that the class can hold. If there's an emergency or change of plan, we still communicate to you guys on Slack. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate that. So please, you should note that the mentors too, they have something doing. I'm also a family man. So we have something doing. So, and we should note that part of the things we are building us on. And as we are doing it, we are not having a fixed class schedule for Monday to Friday. You know that we are having class by this time, and it has a purpose. But what we do is before morning or in the morning of every day, we make sure we update the Slack channel that you'll be having class by this time. Then that should suffice. That should suffice. So because you'll be able to plan your day with the time that is the time we'll be having the class. So that is very important. It is sure that if you say 5 p.m., if you say 3 p.m., so people will still have things doing by that time. Then that means if we want to learn, we need to adjust. I understand the concept. I also have a business. Let me say I have businesses, and I also have a company I'm working for. So we just have to squeeze out time. That is just it. So I understand everything you have explained, and it's a plea. And don't mind my voice. That is how my voice is. I'm not trying to flare up on what you have said, please. So, but that is how I talk. So, but what I'm saying is that we can't try having a fixed time. But it is sure that based on most of us here, we always be having it in the evening, West African time, probably 5 or 3, as said by is it 3 or 1:30? I don't know maybe what he said. So we should work towards those times, and we are trying to cover up. Like the stage 1 task, we have not covered up, and we're supposed to finish stage 1 today. So how do we cover up now? So please let us try and bear with us. We are not trying to do us like we are children. No, but we are trying to implement what our mentors has implemented on us, and it has helped us a lot. So please let us try and bear and work towards those times. That is it. And also about Cupertino. Okay.
Sorry, sir. Sorry for cutting in.
Yes, okay.
And there is one thing that, sir, the organizer do not do. You do not know us. You only know our name. This is it. My name is Said Adelani. I finished from Lautech. Presently, as I'm talking to you, I'm in the United States, United Kingdom. I'm in Nottingham. And then what I do, the moment you sign up for a job, you are there for that time being. 12 hours is 12 hours. You enter into the house, you're there for that time. And then for that day, it's gone. When you come back in the night, you only meet what has been said. The only thing is, I can spare a whole month for this, if that is what it's going to take. And then you can see the eagerness in my voice. I have been on Flutter for over a year, and I am still very much struggling. And then I'll tell you this, I have an interview on Monday by 11:30 on Flutter, big company. So this is just something that I have been doing and I have passion for, and then I have been feeling different. I received a rejection today, unfortunately, and I did a codility test about this thing like a week ago. And these are the things that will make me survive, that will make me balance in where I am. I know all this, and then people here might not know. I'm just trying to tell the people here now that is hearing me, you are where you're supposed to be. But please, now, even if as we are now, no, the organizer do not know the level of people that are in there, and people are just stuck together. Don't be angry with me using stack, because stack is inside Flutter too. So this, please, if there is a way you can take this class and let us know ourselves, let us know who is who and where some people are, so that you will not be, because the way it is now, the moment some people do not understand a particular point, they will be bringing you back, and if you do not wait for them, they will get discouraged. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Duly noted. We work on that.
Thank you. Let's not waste much time. Maybe we can start introduction here, so we can get familiar within ourselves and the level we are. So, because after today, we are going to have a serious and rigorous class among us, and because we are going to face practical, and I believe every day we are done with this track, any assignment or any class, the next thing that follows is a assignment, just like we did when we did our control flow. So my name is Egede Kelechukwu Mark, or Mark Henry. I reside in Owerri, Imo State, and I work with West Africa Examination Council, WAEC. So, and I'm a Flutter developer and a native app developer. So I'm a kind of the organizers of the mobile mentors. Thank you. Can you please explain as in introduce yourself so we can as well know our levels? So if anybody is explaining himself, we expect the person to mention his level of experience or exposure when it comes to that or other languages. So we can know how we can channel more of our resources and distribute it accordingly based on experience. Thank you.
Do I need to go again?
Yes, please.
Okay. My name is Adelani Said. I'm a computer science graduate of set 2017, Lautech. I'm presently in the United Kingdom and then working as a support worker and a carer, which I don't like, and I want to go back to my field. So I've started learning Flutter from a friend of mine, but I don't know what is happening with him now. He's angry at me. I don't know. So, and I've been to the point of applying for different job applications, and then I've been getting positive responses, and I have been failing. And then I would like to learn. Maybe my mode of learning is what is faulty. I would like to learn again and re-strategize and make way for myself. And I would like if there is an hands-on project that I can do, if possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Said. Thank you. I will categorize you as you are not a novice, you're not a beginner, maybe intermediate, sorry, because you already have the understanding concept, but you need a more like a clarity on some certain areas concerning Flutter. Thank you. Maybe after this class, maybe you can still have a time to ask you a few questions about area you think you're not doing well, or maybe I can throw some technical questions to ascertain your level, so we can know how we can help you improve on certain areas. Thank you. Mr. Lukman. My man Lukman, are you there? Hello, Lukman, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Welcome.
My name
So,
is Adedeji Lukman. I graduated from mechanical department, Yaba Tech. So presently I'm a computer engineer, works at Computer Village. So I gain interest in learning Flutter from my colleagues. So I've been learning it for a couple of months, even though I'm a runaway student. So I just did, my level is not intermediate, but within intermediate and novice, that's my level in Flutter.
I will agree with you that you're a beginner, because they say
Okay,
our
sir.
level is between the intermediate and the novice. So what we have there is a beginner. At least you have your app installed and etc. So You're welcome. We
Okay,
are
sir.
looking
Thank you,
forward
sir.
to see how we can arrange ourselves and improve ourselves. Even us instructing you, we are still learning because technology evolves, technology changes.
All right, sir.
Like before now, we used to use a bottom item. If you are doing bottom navigation bar, if you update your app to that 3.6 or thereabouts, Flutter 3.16, is now after you put bottom navigation bar, the next thing is the navigation bar, which is still works as a bottom navigation item. So we're actually learning and improving ourselves. So you are welcome. My brother Agnus Day, Alpha, welcome back. Agnus Day, can you hear us?
He has dropped a message in the group, sir.
Oh, I don't forget to my method be that. Okay, okay, okay. That's good. That's good. Express in Java language. Okay. Uh, so when it comes to Java, is it Android Java or normal the big Java or Android programming with Java? Okay. Okay. More like when it comes to Flutter, you are I won't call it, maybe you're a beginner or a novice when it comes to using that language. That's a beginner or a novice. But in programming concepts, you are an advanced person. So you're welcome. I will categorize you as a in between novice and beginner. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So now let's come to. I heard what my boss said about time. That time will be communicated to us at least, let's say 12 hours, or if the class is coming tomorrow, we'll be like say we'll let you guys know, let's say today against that tomorrow. But in absence of that, I want to know our schedules in terms of this time. Is 5 o'clock ideal time for us, or 6, or I don't know. So which time is ideal for us? In absence of that, remember you are free to contact me anytime for clarity of anything. I said I think you wanted to say something.
Um, I, my, to my own view, I'm saying my own view. Everybody that goes to war will always come back home. If we can shift it a little bit to the evening side, maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So that from that point, and then I think it should be comfortable for some, because there is no time, as my boss has said, that one will pick that all of us will be available.
Okay, let's hear from other people's opinion. Adedeji Lukman, is that 6, 7? Because I know our brothers say in Nigeria. I don't know. I think our prayer is it 6:30? Maybe 8 o'clock. I can't remember.
6:30, 8 o'clock, both.
6:30, 8 o'clock.
Anytime from 5 is okay for me.
My boss. Abdullahi.
Yeah.
Okay, we are still sampling opinion in terms of the ideal time because I believe that everybody here is actually working. You
Yes.
get, including you.
I think
So
we should stick it to that 5 p.m. So everyone should just
5 p.m.
adjust. Yes. And that's if you check it, if you sample the opinion very well, you can see that by 6:30 we go for solar. We are going to pray. And when it is like 7:40, 8 o'clock, we are still going for another prayer. Because in a day, Muslims used to pray 5 times. So we go to mosque 5 times. So that is why. And we need to, for example, on Sundays we don't have lectures on Sundays because Christians will go to our Christian brothers will go to, or they will go to church. So that is it.
Okay. You guys have heard what our boss says, so we are leaving it 5. Then we narrow it down to grace 6 o'clock, 5:30, right? I think we have reached a consensus on that. So let me quickly see what I can recap what our boss just taught us now. So what was the definition about what you call a container? What is a container? In your own understanding, like what you understand like a container?
Should I say something about container?
Yes. We want to.
Okay, a container is a shape that has a child like every other widget, and then this child can be an image, a text, and then this container can take different height and width, and then it has its own. You can give it its own color, and you can use the decoration to beautify the container. And this container can take the whole length of the screen of an app, and then you can use it to form different shape. You can put container inside any other widget like rows, column. You can put container inside stack, put stack inside column, and then it depends on what you want to achieve actually. uh Container is so vast that I don't know what I can if we remove the scaffold from Flutter framework. I think container is still remain my own best used widget inside Flutter because of its flexibility and its adaptivity in the framework. Container is just something I so much love because it gives you space for creativity, and then you can make a eye-boggling anything with it. I so much love container. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that is a very beautiful and clear definition of container. Container to me is more like a magic box because that nigga can be anything. So I'm handing over the mic to our boss, the person in charge of this section. If you have any other thing for us, then let's hear from him first. Abdullah, please.
Yeah. What is the question?
Question. We are just looking at. Do you still have any plan for us this night? Or
Okay, can we have it this? We should have another class this night.
yes, very important. The practical aspect of it.
So that will be by 9 p.m.
So how many of us can make it that time?
Available.
You're available, right?
I'm available.
Davido.
My time ain't come from my town. There.
Okay. So I believe all of us will be available by 9 o'clock.
Try and schedule the live session on Telegram, please. So I'm going for Solar. So let us try and land up.
Okay.
Thanks so much for coming. Try and work on the assignment, please, before 12 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So if you have any other question I want us to discuss through the private chat, you can chat me up on it. I will hand stone ahead to support and to assist. Thank you.